Hey, this is Crow Inquisitors going into episode 68 today, and I think this might be the first point that we break off of Terra Invicta. So for like a long time, a ridiculously long time, you guys have been neck and neck with them, doing the same episodes, the same episode numbers on the same weeks somehow, and then we like take breaks at the same time and like come back at the same time. Like it's been very weird. But this is the first week in a while that we've been doing an episode of Crow Inquisitors and not an episode of Terra Invicta. Today it is just David and Adam, which I think will work out probably better than otherwise because both Theo and Dellon are in extended conflicts according to the Burning Wheel rules. So by the time that Jared and Connor jump back into it, almost no time will have passed. So it'll be fine. But Jared's sick and Connor's wife is sick. So, but it worked out. It'll be fun to kind of go back and forth between a Duel of Wits and a fight, which I'm pumped about. Okay, let's go ahead and read some beliefs and instincts and whatnot and get into it. Dellon, what are your beliefs, my friend?
Let's see. Sergio may have repented, but the Inquisition is still beyond saving. I will ensure that its leaders are punished and its membership disbanded, which I'm sure won't come up. My father and Faustus have both thrown their lots behind my nephew. To get to Impina and Linka, I must find the demon that has claimed them. The mountain before us looms ever larger. I must ensure that my family is safe from the threats it poses, starting with Alphonse. Hopefully that'll happen. I guess I can't really go that far because he's not here, but on my blade.
Well, I'll just randomly make Alphonse show up in the middle of the battle and just be tied up, and you can save him. There you go.
I shall hold the enemies of God at bay. Somehow, Furio has managed to drag himself out of the grave for the second time. I will ensure that this fight is his last.
Very nice. Yep, good old Furio. I've really enjoyed bringing his character back multiple times. Theo.
I must transcend to sainthood to protect those I love and enact the justice of one true God. I must strengthen my faith. There was one God, the rest are demons. I found Faustus. Now I will discover the locations of the keys and take it from it. I'm destined to save the world. Each of us are necessary to this goal. I will defend them at all costs. I also added a little excerpt because I feel like it could come in handy. Greater man has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that makes sense. Very nice. Well, we were kind of in the middle of a Duel of Wits with Theo. So let's go ahead and kind of set up the fight with Dellon at the very least first, and make sure we're all ready to go. Maybe we can probably go back and forth by volleys in the middle of these. So Dellon, first thing we got to do is figure out engagement, right? Testing speed. We might not need to because I think it's basically like who has the better fight like positioning, but you both have the same length of weapon.
Does he have that regenerative power still, like and armor, like he did last time?
He does. It is. Oh yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. He doesn't have Earth. I don't believe he has Earth blood.
He didn't have the power that.
He was just a zombie, basically.
Yeah, he was just tough.
But he had the armor, though.
Yeah.
And he does still have some of the armor left. But it's still damaged from the last time you gave him a beating. So it'll. And I've downgraded it a little bit to poor quality armor, so it'll fall apart pretty fast here. But in theory, he does still have a breastplate and a helmet that are barely hanging on as he's been juiced up. I should really just open the book. Fight. Yeah, I don't know if we have to do this first part of it because it's who has the advantage, and I don't know if you can because it's.
Yeah, I think it's basically just who gets to be at the optimal range for their weapon. But
yep.
if we have the same weapon, I don't think it matters.
This does not matter. So you guys close in at the same distance because that's the optimal fighting distance for both of you. And I think at the very least at this first exchange, I'm gonna have it be just you and Furio. There technically is Podino running around here somewhere, but there's plenty of other people to fight. So unless I feel like
there's also like a whole bunch of friends.
Yeah, exactly. Unless I feel like you're winning too handily and might want to have them try to stab you a couple times and jump in.
When did the priest start stabbing Furio?
Well, I think probably at least for this first exchange, no one is going to want to get near the two of you.
Yeah, I guess I mean that I think if we did one, we should do the other, so we should do neither, I guess is what I was saying.
Yeah, no. I almost agree, except for like if I really find a good moment for Podina to show up and just stab you one time dramatically, I might do so, but we'll see. Okay, so I guess after engagement, I guess we just script the instructions. So so what we got to do is look at your reflexes and make sure that we have the right amount of actions. So you have 5.
Mm-hmm. The big rotting zombie guy has better reflexes than me. I'm going to be upset.
He does, simply because magic, and you will understand why he came back to life and why he's going to be so jacked in this fight. After things get, you might even have some conversation in the middle of this too. So we'll see how much you figure out. Okay, so in terms of B5 reflexes, which is what I assume you have.
Yeah.
What happens when you have a gray shade reflexes? Because it like, according to this, it seems like you would just like have 16 actions or something, but I don't think that's correct. So you can do you have to leave one of the volleys at 1 action.
Right.
So all the other 2 have 2. So one of them will have to have 1. I think I'm gonna have to write these down separately first, at least, so that you don't know which actions I'm putting down for which volleys, or as in like the number of actions. Because I don't think you're supposed to know.
You have to do them in order, I think.
No. What I mean is, if he has 2 actions in one volley, I don't think you know that. Like,
I'm pretty sure you have to fill them out in order, is what I'm saying. Like my third volley will always be the one that's 1 action.
That is not true.
I'm pretty sure that's how
when I'm looking at the table right here, it says for B5, your options for volley and action combinations is 2-2-1, 2-1-2, or 1-2-2.
All right.
The only stipulations is you can't double up unless you have 1 action in each volley. You can't triple up unless you have 2 actions for all 3 volleys. Right? Like you have to slowly fill in each volley with the same number of actions until they're all 1-1-1-1, and then you can add 2-1-1, then 2-2-1, then but it doesn't matter what order they're in.
Okay, sure.
All right, now I guess so then weapon speed is something you want to pay attention to, just so you know how many actions you can take in a row. So for you just have a regular longsword, so it's 3. So you can do 3 strikes in a row if you really want to. Not sure why you would do 3 strikes in a row, but
yeah.
But I guess you have armor, so
yeah, that's the thing. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter.
And you can use any action except for like I think throw person.
Well, neither of us have a shield, right? So we can't use block.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but in terms of like weapon skills, because you're both using sword, and not like brawling, you just can't use like throw person. Oh yeah, also, I believe. Yeah, okay, so neutral stance, you start a fight in neutral stance unless otherwise noted. You can change your stance to be more aggressive or defensive, and it gives you +2 dice to the relevant actions. So that's something you could do as well.
Okay.
But you started neutral. And you both have already drawn your weapons, so you don't have to do that. Okay, so you can do block just with a weapon, but you can't do block and strike.
Right. But it looks like you can do Counter-Strike, maybe, because I don't see it saying anything in Counter-Strike about not being able to do it.
Yep.
Which is weird because when I read it, it sounded exactly like what I thought block and strike was. So I don't know. I don't know what the difference is.
Special action reserved for that. Successes from the block portion reduce the successes of your opponent's action.
That's how Counter-Strike works also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just read it, and it sounded exactly like what I thought block and strike was. It uses weapon, brawling, or boxing skill after they're revealed, but before your opponent rolls, you divide your pool. One for defense,
I guess you
one
get
for
extra dice for your shield.
Oh gosh, they could have just said you get extra dice in Counter-Strike for your shield. That's silly. Unless maybe it has different interactions.
I feel like it does. Yeah. I'm sure there's like other fiddly bits about it, but I've got mine written up. Once you put down all your cards, I will put mine down as well. While you're fiddling with that there, I need to put down my new actions for Duel of Wits as well. So those are the ones you want to choose there, Adam?
Yes, I am done.
Sweet. And you just like avoided the entire time last time. I assume you're not going to do so this time.
Well, I didn't know how it worked, honestly. I thought that like an avoid was
Adam, I'm trying to trip
you also, like if you successfully, like I was thinking more like if he attacks and I block, that's a success and does damage to him. But if he like attacks and I attack, we just
that's rebuttal. Rebuttal is like you defend and attack at the same time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So and again, feel free to change even now.
What's the difference between rebuttal and point then?
Point is literally just attacking. Yep, and then rebuttal
didn't he like so when he split the dice, that was a rebuttal?
That was a rebuttal. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah,
okay.
You do have to split the dice between defense and attack, but you get to do both.
I got a good speech coming.
Nice.
Even if I lose, I think it'll be good.
Nice. That's Burning Wheel, right? That's the hope, right? Is that even if you lose, it'll be good. And I believe the way it works, David, is like the first action interacts with the first action, the second action interacts with the second action.
Right.
So if you have an extra action above what someone else does, you just get to act for free on that last one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, man, I don't see why it wouldn't be at the same time, because like now you know which one I'm double scripting, right? So I feel like
but I've already chosen mine. That's what I'm saying. I already chose mine in a different window.
Oh, you wrote them down. I
already wrote them. Yeah, exactly. So typically I think how it works is that you would like there's a little sheet and you would like mark which actions you're doing. Gotcha. And no one else can see it. Because I don't believe you're supposed to know like whether or not they have an extra action on the same volley as you do, that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
For a rebuttal, do you get to choose how much attack and how much defense, or what's the minimum? Or
I think it's minimum of 1.
Okay.
Right. So you can't just attack or just defend, but I don't think there are any stipulations beyond that.
So could rebuttal effectively be a point then? If you just, I guess if you wanted, you just put all your dice into attack.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you can sense that they are going to have a weak hit, you can just decide, okay, just leave 1 die in there and then do everything else on attack, right? But I don't think you can leave it at 0.
If you wanted to do everything on attack, you just do point instead.
Right. Yeah, I'm just saying it was like if
yeah. Sometimes you won't know. Yeah, you're trying
like if you did a point and then you just like really destroyed him and then you're like, oh, I have a rebuttal. I'm not going to defend.
Right. Exactly.
True.
Like
yeah, you could do that. Okay, I think we're pretty much good. There aren't any like environmental factors to consider here. You're pretty much in an open street. There's no narrow confines or anything like that. So I don't believe there's like a whole lot of, there's not going to be any positioning advantages. The only thing to keep in mind during the fight is going to be like whether or not one of you is staggered off balance on one knee or knocked down. As a reminder, you can forfeit an action to change an action. You can't forfeit in Volley 1, and you cannot change an announced action. But right before you announce an action, you can forfeit an action, and then I believe the next action after that you can change.
Okay.
Right. So again, probably only useful if you really are going to really be screwed over, or if they're off balance for a moment or something, and you have a moment to change what you're doing. But most of the time, you're going to want to just stick with what you chose. I'll tell you right now that I've already scripted a useless action against your last volley, non-existent volley there, because I have an extra action in that last volley.
Oh,
so you're welcome. But okay, so I would.
Oh yeah, never.
Yeah, you're good.
Good.
I would imagine that we would start with the first volley of Dellon and Theo here, and then we would jump over to Theo and do a volley of that.
Sure.
If that works for you guys. Okay. I believe I'm gonna double check just to make sure we're not missing anything, but I believe we just flip over those first interactions.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do it. Okay. First action. You're doing a strike. He is doing a charge/tackle.
Okay.
Might go well for you.
I don't know anything about the grappling. I intentionally avoid them because there's like 5.
He's not trying to grapple you. He's just trying to knock you over.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
All right. So, obstacles for charge, tackle. So against strike, looks like he's going to do this against half your fort. That's his his role. What about you? Do you have what's the interaction there?
Sorry, for the sheet. It is a standard. Wait, hold on. No, I'm doing strikes.
Yeah, so yeah, you ob one.
Ob one, yeah. I'm just like, what is this?
Because I'm trying to do something separate from your attack. Basically, we both get ours off. I might knock you down. You might hit me, but they don't really interact with each other other than that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll let you do your strike first if you'd like. I need to figure out the dice for this anyway. All right, charge tackle tests your power with a +1 die advantage plus stride advantage. Oh, you just get an extra die advantage. Okay, that's fun.
Can I use intimidation since I killed this guy twice?
I think that in fight rules, that's like a separate action you have to do, right?
Oh,
to like try to get them to hesitate.
But I'm not trying to get him to hesitate. I'm just trying to stab him.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'll try to keep forks for both sides to a little bit less than we would with a larger abstracted thing.
All right. Well, I was going to take brawling, but I guess maybe that doesn't make sense because there's like its own thing. Single combat wise, since that's basically what we're doing. Of course. Sword wise and armored wise.
Yeah.
I guess does brawling count?
I think that's fine. Like if you just describe yourself, swinging it around a little bit recklessly, right? Like you're being rough about it rather than. So what does this look like? Like we narratively we see Furio. He had stepped in, and I don't think he says anything to you. You get ready, right? And then he just goes right, like Hulk style, just rushing at you.
Yeah. I think he's just gonna like plant and try and like use his momentum to stab him. And brawling will probably just be like using his hand to try and like guide him. as he stabs him, because I think that's kind of what it means. It's like,
you're like knock him aside and yeah, sure,
yeah. Q.
Fine with me.
All right.
What's your fort? Nice.
It is 4. So you have 2, not 2.
All right, up to you. We'll see how this goes. He gets a die advantage. He also has he has the same strat as you. No strat.
Doesn't it give like? I thought the interaction said it gave like 2 dice or something.
What gives 2 dice?
I
think for you it just said standard.
Oh, plus 1 dice. No, it is plus 1 dice. Yeah.
Yeah, for charge tackle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought it said 2. That's why I was confused. But yeah,
okay. Make against base up 2. Yeah, he's good.
Pretty just not power. I don't know that your durability has a lot to do with not falling over.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I guess
not that it matters really. That's just an interesting stat. Maybe they just figured they wanted it to be useful for something.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm charging you. I'm not tackling you. So
I don't know what that is.
I take advantage for my weapon because you're on the ground and aren't in or actually wait, maybe I can't. Maybe it doesn't matter. I still get you're gonna have all penalties for being on the ground. I think that's the only thing that actually matters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, knockdown +1 ob, 2 positioning defense, basic and special actions, and +2 ob, 2 attack. Gosh, I can almost read it.
Okay, I see. I stagger. I don't tackle you. I stagger you. You're at +1 ob to his next test, whatever it may be. If I exceed my obstacle, which I did, I knock you down. Okay, I see.
Okay.
Yep. So you are
+1 ob to pretty much everything except for attacks, which has +2 ob. Okay.
Yep. +1 ob to all those actions. But you do get a hit off. Which if you do play your cards right here, might just off them. So we'll see.
Yeah, probably not. We'll see, I guess.
But you do have deadly precision, is what I'm saying, right? Like that's
it's true. Yeah,
that's the kicker here. Is
you said he has a breastplate and a helmet.
Yep.
I'm gonna aim for his arm because I can move this shot. Right. I guess tell me where he wants it to be. I assume it's chest, right?
I believe that's how it works, right? Like
I'm just guessing based on what we did last time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we were just doing. Is we just chose that.
I think it's somebody picks. I think the defender picks a location and you spend the successes to move it. Right.
I believe so. Just double check.
I think it might cost more successes to move it to different places, though.
You're already at a mark or superb, right? Like for sure.
Yeah, because I need 4 over to get a superb because it's 2 add, and so I'm at 5, I guess. So I have 3 left. Should be enough to move it anywhere.
Okay, the defender tells the attacker where he will be hit. You know what? I wonder. Let's see how does it work? The attacker may use his skill to move location of the blow. He may just dedicate his extra successes from his attack roll to improve his aim. Costs 1 success to move from the torso or the arms to any other location. It costs 2 successes to go from legs to head or from head to legs.
Okay, so for 1 success, I can go from torso to arm.
But what if he says my head is the...
Well, that would be kind of silly, but he could do that, and then it would take 2 successes to move to the arm, and I can do that too. So
okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I think it's basically a success per location you have to move because legs to head is 2, right?
Yeah, so but I'm just saying you have enough successes that it's not going to matter.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think that's what he would do. Like he's charging straight ahead with his busted helmet. Because he was hoping that you wouldn't be able to do something like this.
When I imagine that picking the location is probably a pretty meta decision because
yep exactly.
Yeah, so I think you could easily say head.
He would have chose
hit arm, right?
Exactly. He would have chose head, and you use your successes to get it down to it. So you have a superb hit on his arm.
Yeah,
very good.
All right, so that's
we cutting off an arm today, boys.
I mean, it's probably a gray injury because it's completely unopposed, right? As far as that goes. Got.
And I think he was specifically choosing to. I'm looking at the rules here. He was the way I was imagining it. He's specifically like putting his head down and putting his left arm forward. So that is the one that you would hit, unless you want to spend one more success to move it to his right arm, which is the one with his sword. But if you have that amount of successes, then
I think I do, because I had 3 over. I'm assuming that 1 doesn't count because I have to succeed. And then 4 over would be 5, and I have 8, so I'd have 3. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll go for a sword arm.
Perfect. Yeah, sword arm. Nice. All right, cool. Yeah, so then I believe it should be on your character sheet. It should just be accurate. Oh no, it's not, because it's
just failing to find anything. Here we go. 3 for sword. That's what I was looking for. So it's 13 power because I have deadly precision.
If you want to do the quick calculations on this, and we can go back and forth when we do this, I would just change your power real quick to your sword skill, and then it should accurately have it in the gear.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even know.
Yep.
What do you mean?
Yep. So right, if you look at the weapons now, it says B7, B13,
I didn't know B19. That was there.
Yep.
That's convenient. Okay.
Yep.
I've been doing the math for that every time I need.
So you just did a B19 wound?
Great. Yeah. So yeah. Well, no, it'd be B3 or a grade 3. Yeah, G3, right?
No, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For some reason in my head I was thinking B meant G, and so I was like, well, I wouldn't be that high. But yeah. Okay. So confused myself.
I think you just killed this dude.
Oh my gosh. Well, that would be lucky, because I'm not wearing a helmet. So if he gets 1 successful hit, he can just move it to my head and I die instantly. So I was really concerned about this fight for that reason.
Yeah. He has. I don't think he has any Artha. I don't even think he's a human anymore.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't think he can like change the trajectory.
The scene or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Change the situation to be against, not get a mortal wound. So I think you probably just cut off his arm straight away and is gouting arterial spray, right? It's just like.
Is he kind of dead though? So.
Yeah, is it kind of like a weird weak arterial spray?
Yeah. What if it just like cut it off and he's just like
it's like no blood,
and just keeps going.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Oh, yeah. I guess that's actually one thing to look up here is whether or not being a zombie this matters.
Yeah, well, I mean, I assume
it would affect him. Like he'd at least be weakened, but I don't think he'd be like out of the fight.
But the thing is, either way, like Dellon got a G3 wound off on the guy, so I think he's dead no matter what, unless there's some sort of special rule about zombies where like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like I feel like there should be, because it's like, yes, maybe he should have. Like,
I don't want you to die, David.
I mean, I agree that cutting off a zombie's arm is. I mean, it's never been a lethal wound to a zombie in anything else. So,
I feel like it should be like an obstacle that he has because he only has 1 arm now, and so like any strength that he had is now decreased, but he's not like he's still fighting.
Yeah, well, I don't know what kind of zombie I don't know if he's literally like an actual regular zombie or if he's just been kept alive by magic or something. If he's literally just a zombie, then I don't know that cutting off his arm would kill him. But I also then don't know how I would kill him, because
well, if you chopped off his head and his arms, he's not really
right. But mechanically, the damage track is how you kill somebody, and so if the damage track doesn't matter, because we'd have to be ignoring it for that to be the case. I don't know how I would kill him.
No, dude, you gotta chop off the head. That's how you do it. You can chop off all the things. You can't kill him until you chop off his head. As soon as you chop off his head, then he's dead. That's all zombie.
Yeah. I'll just chop off all of his limbs, and then he'll bite my kneecaps off.
You certainly cut off his arm, and have made that, like, you've given him the missing arm trait, right?
Right. Oh yeah, that's like a real trait, isn't it? I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. And that's typically what the book says is like.
You might do if you're spending a persona or something.
Well, I'm trying to find the trait that like that you give undead, but I can't. I know there is one where it's just like, you are dead.
You are dead. Yeah.
Here we go. Reanimated corpse.
Wow. Nice.
Let's see. These creatures may not recover from injury. However, neither do they bleed to death or suffer from any type of disease or poison.
So it sounds like their severe wounds wouldn't get worse.
Yeah. The thing is, like, narratively, we must have to describe it being more because you did do a G3 wound to the dude, right? So
true. Yeah. Whatever he did has to be more damaging. Because I don't even know if cutting off someone's arm would be a G3 wound for a human. They would bleed to death, but they wouldn't implode like they were hit by a magical weapon, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm wondering about. I'm wondering if maybe it's impossible. Like, I'm wondering two things. Either you just have to describe it like you killed him, or if you cut off his arm and that's like you give him a wound, but it's impossible to give him like more.
Well, mechanically, I think it would be. I would describe doing more than cutting off his arm because of the wound level I did just to make the narrative fit the mechanics. But I mean, if you'd rather do it the other way, that's fine. I guess
I don't want to jip you out of the instant kill you just got here. I just want to make sure that I'm not like missing something because it does seem weird that like you would be able to target a specific location and then be able to kill someone instantly by cutting off their arm, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they probably assume that sort of thing isn't going to happen a lot. Like, you're not normally going to be rolling a G or getting a G3 wound on anything, right? Because we're dealing with the max level of skill and deadly precision. Like, that's not 10 power is just not a thing people are normally going to have.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's probably just assuming that won't happen very often.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, like on a normal human being, cutting off their arm is still enough to win the fight, so it's kind of irrelevant.
So maybe that's what it is. Is like you cut off his arm and like it. Okay, let's just do this. So he does knock you over, right? Like he barrels into you, and but you probably cut off his arm right before he. I guess you describe it to me. Like you obviously cut off his arm that's like behind him, right? Like
right. Yeah, I think maybe what happens is like so he's charging like shoulder down, and so like as he's going, I grab him like at his front and turn, and I like cut his arm off. But then there's still enough of me in front that he just bowls me over with him.
Yeah.
So like, his arm goes this way and we go that way, and he just kind of like lands on me probably.
Yeah. Actually, let's say that like the charge turns into a tackle, and he just like, falls over with you, right? Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe what you hear is almost as if it's coming from like the hollow of his skull. His mouth kind of goes like he goes into a sneer like this, and he's like, missing some teeth, and you hear a voice emanate from inside of his body, but it doesn't sound like it's coming from his vocal cords. It sounds like it's like echoing around in his skull and kind of coming out in this weird, like kind of raspy, echoey whisper.
Okay.
You hear Constantino's voice.
I was wondering.
Say, you ruined my vessel, Dellon. And when like he's starting to spasm and like not work correctly, he's like, and maybe let's even say this, just to make the G3 wound even make more sense. Like as you fall over, like your sword ends up impaling the dude too, right?
Sure,
like so it's just sticking out of Furio's chest, and I think Constantino says, "Well, I've lived inside one demigod. What about another?" And then you feel pressure on your mind. He's going to try to take you over instead. So you have killed Furio, right? His body is gone. But this ghost basically inside Furio is going to try to possess you.
Cool.
But we'll jump over to Theo.
I was wondering if Constantino scooped his brain into Furio. That was what I was expecting.
That's pretty much what happened.
Okay, nice, awesome.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons. So, like, one of the things we missed last time off screen was like an epic wizard battle between Gorath and Constantino, and Constantino happened to win. I've been wanting to do that for like a really long time, and even if we got it just off screen, I was happy it finally happened. That nice. Those two physical discipline guys got to face off.
Yeah.
All right, so
that
Theo,
would be a weird fight. You're just both trying to pop each other's heads before they.
Who's body breaks?
Hedicus Popicus.
Yes, the M-rated Harry Potter version.
Yeah.
All right, so Theo, the last thing we left off on with you is you were basically standing in like the big crowd, right? And you, I think you had tried to basically say like, I'm trying to remember the last thing you said.
Something like, something about
your whole point had basically been like, you want to show, you want to see me die, in the arena and not just like as an executioner's hand.
Yeah.
And then I think Faustus, his last thing was he said, what do we say to that? No gods. Oh no, I remember you were talking about the great god and how you were once one of them, but you found something bigger than just this sort of mindless, bloodless, bloody revolution. And we're trying, you're trying to edge them closer to like not just wanting to immediately kill you in whatever way you could. And Faustus basically said, and what do we say to that? No gods, no masters. And then the whole crowd started saying, no gods, no masters. And you were like standing there like, oh boy, this crowd is really not on my side right now. And I think you whispered to yourself like, it looks like they have found a master. Because you pointed out how before, Faustus had basically said like, I'm in charge of this rabble. And then he said, no gods, no masters. And you're like, well, that looks like they did find their master.
Yeah.
That was the last thing I remember. But now we flip over our new volleys and we see how it goes. All right. So he's going to do rebuttal. What are you doing? Point. All right. So go ahead and make your point first, and then I'll have him rebut.
I stand here accused. Accused of what? I wonder. For choosing my loyalties? Have I ever ruled over you? What have I ever done but freely choose? I'm no king. I'm no politician. In battle, you all followed me, free of choice, for freedom. Now, wait, what was I? Oh, for honor. Where is your honor now? What have we ever done but survive? To choose whether we lived or died on sheer will. Is that not why you are here? To witness the struggle to survive in the battle of wills for sport? A strong man lives with hope, yet not fear of death, fights for the freedom to choose and respect for man's will. A weak man cowers from the will of the strong man. He imprisons his enemies, living in fear of what he can do. Fear of death. And he looks at Faustus, and failure. Which one are you, Faustus?
Nice. So he says, I actually don't know what he says on that, because that is you're trying to use their philosophy against them, right? Like if it's no gods, no masters, then I should also be able to choose my fate. And only the weak man imprisons their foes instead of letting them,
imprisons them because he's forcing a fate on him.
He's the weak man. Yeah, exactly. And he says, I think this is what he says. He says, "You are being killed. You are being killed for choosing your loyalties, Theo. Because betrayal against those whose destiny was once trusted This is the greatest betrayal of all. Many of us trusted your destiny. We trusted that you were, that your destiny was intertwined with ours, and you decided to embrace the weak man, the weak men who rule this city and try to put us all in chains. You talk about freedom and will. You are not a politician, Theo, but you lick their boots like a dog. And then he's going to go ahead and transition to a point, right? Like that's his rebuttal of your point, and then his point, like for the point part of the rebuttal, is he says, I will not be tricked. I will not have the wool pulled over my eyes, Theo. No matter what you say, no matter how you try to get this crowd to see you die in glory, you will die in agony. You will die in defeat, because you have already lost. The spoils of victory, you say? You have already lost this fight, and there will not be another for you. When you fainted like a lady on her couch in the middle of battle, and my men took you as the spoils of their victory, that is what matters. You've already forfeited. You've already forfeited your glory, Theo. All right, so you're gonna go ahead and do a point against his rebuttal. I'll go ahead and add up his dice first. Give you the defense so that you have an op to roll against, and then you'll roll your point. All right, here we go. Faustus. Let's see. He's doing rebuttal. What can rebuttal be used with? Extortion, interrogation, oratory, persuasion. He's probably just doing oratory, I think. Okay, oratory. Forking in. Ambition-wise. Astrology, because of course. I don't think he was commanding any of them. I'll have him throw in falsehood and intimidation, persuasion, religious diatribe. Yeah, that was the one I was looking for. And it's it. Oh, sorry, that's 15 dice. So he is going to do... Here's the question. Okay, he's going to do 76. Oof. Well, your ob is 2.
For attack?
For you, yeah. You only have an attack, so you're just rolling your skill against.
That's right.
So point. It's. I don't know if you were doing a persuasion. It sounded like oratory to me.
Oh, I was trying to persuade. I'm trying to persuade them to, persuade them to. Well, I'm trying to persuade them to get me to fight. Persuade them that they're...
I agree, but the thing is, like, your persuasion is typically for like a 101 like thing. You can fork it, certainly.
Yeah, but I literally addressed Faustus. I said, "Which one are you, Faustus?"
I don't know, David. What do you think? It sounded to me like he was still giving a speech to the crowd, like that was his primary skill here.
Yeah, I think it's a little weird because, like, the whole nature of Duel of Wits is kind of like convincing everybody else. So it's kind of all oratory, no matter what you're doing. But so it's sort of hard for me to.
The skills it gives to points, right, is
right.
coarse persuasion, interrogation, oratory persuasion, poisonous platitudes, rhetoric, and stentorious debate. And technically, there are like Duel of Wits that could just be literally you two in the room.
True.
Right? That is.
And I mean, ultimately, what he's trying to do is to convince the crowd that he can kill you without them being mad at him, right?
Exactly.
So, like, I feel like pretty much everything that both of them is doing is probably oratory, and
that's
at least could be oratory.
I think it's going to be oratory, Theo. Like it's almost like you're not actually just right next to Theo or right next to Faustus, just persuading him of something. You're trying to. It's for the benefit of the masses. You can certainly fork in persuasion, but I think your base skill is oratory here. But hey, your op is only 2, so
okay.
You did not roll well there.
I'm gonna do persuasion, etiquette, arena wise. It's 3, and then intimidation.
Sure. Yep.
And then soothing platitudes.
I don't think you were being soothing to anyone in that. You were trying to make them less angry. You're trying to rile them up more, if anything.
Base up to it.
Nice. All right. He will spend a fate to reroll some dice on that roll that he got. Okay, so you are now 1 above him.
I'm gonna reroll fate dice too then.
Yep. You can do 1 or 2 if you want to spend 1 or 2 fate.
So this is on oratory then, right?
Yep.
Okay. 2 dice. 2 fate, 2 dice. Wow.
Woof. All right, so I think that means you get 1 more damage to his argument. So he's sitting at 10 out of 17. And then he'll now roll his attack to see if he gets anything on you. Oof, that was a good roll from him. All right, you have a 6. Okay, he's going to spend his last fate. Well, I don't know if it's his last fate.
So if you just give me the 0, is it over?
Yeah, it is. Yep. I'm almost positive it's going to be over right now because he has 3 6s. Yeah, that's all I needed.
Can I make a last speech even if it means nothing?
You could say something last, yeah, but it definitely seems to you like like the crowd has officially gone against you. But keep in mind, you got to say something first. You got to compromise, right? Yeah. I don't think Faustus is like he's already said his piece for now, so you can say something.
Yeah, like how about like he says like the crowd just kind of like starts cheering in a way that I know they're like against me, and he's like, and they quiet down. He's like, no gods, no masters. If that's true, then who is the master of your fate? You? Who is the master of mine? Sentenced to death and chained like a dog, unable to decide his own fate. I am the symbol of self-reliance, fighting for my life and for your entertainment for years. My death or life was in my hands, winning game after game. Were you not entertained? And now the face you see in your mirror, looking back at you, is the same ruling over another man, sentencing him, determining his fate. Pity. You may have thrown out your old masters, but this man, this demon, has taken its place. A man chooses, a slave obeys. You're all still slaves in my book, and in his. Do your worst to me, slaves. Your master has spoken.
Nice. Love it. So the thing is, you do get a compromise, right? You got 10 out of 17.
Get out of there.
Yeah, that's true. That could be it. Okay, so let's see. Compromise. You need to get a middling compromise. Let's see. What's half of 17? I guess like 8.5. Okay, so you've only gotten a minor compromise. So Faustus must grant you a small concession regarding your goal or agree to an additional minor condition that he puts forth. That you put forth, I think. So what do you want that to be? A small concession regarding your goal or agree to an additional minor condition.
I agree to a minor condition, or he?
No. He agrees to a minor condition. You're the one. Like I'm asking you what you think a concession or a minor condition that you can give to Faustus might be.
I just want Asia to go free.
Yeah. That seems like the most, and it's probably like
I think Min would want that too. It's kind of like
no, for sure. I don't think. Yeah. Okay. So. Let's say this. Let's say Faustus. You say that last line, right? And Faustus just laughs softly to himself. He's not like a maniacal villain laughing right now, but he just goes, "It's over, Theo. It's time to accept your fate." And then he starts to wave Achia and Min forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. What do you think? Is it you yourself who brings this up, or is it just Faustus has decided in his own mind because of your arguments?
I think he decides in his own mind, because I think he's kind of like he. I think in some way he's kind of like like I'll give him a little bit of mercy because like
I even think that maybe like the leader of the order is the one who like captured Achia and like has her in chains and like over to Faustus' side. And I almost think like maybe he even promised too much to put Achia in that. Like maybe that's not what the leader of the order even wanted. And so he was inciting you, but it wasn't actually even true. It was like a falsehood. And so like he makes it look like he's just deciding against it. And like he starts to wave them forward, and then he says, "It would be a pity to waste such a beautiful woman. I may need a mistress when all of this is said and done."
Who's the
leader woman. The leader of the order is the guy played by Hugo Weaving. Yeah. He's the guy who got Achia into all the astrology stuff and like kind of set her up to do the failed astrology that like led to all of this in the first place. He was trying to manipulate this, her to read the stars wrongly so that he could set up this whole thing. But he's working for demons too. But I think he says that right, and then he says, "She can be my toy, my plaything." He looks at you, "But she will be alive. I'll give you that much, Theo." You say anything?
No, I don't think he says anything.
And but I think some of the cultists do drag Min out and throw him into the arena with you. And you're not like on the side of the arena. You're kind of like, I guess, how close are you to Faustus's little throne?
I was thinking like 30 feet, probably. Like,
okay,
he's far enough away. I mean, he's on the side of the arena, but he's like out in,
I literally think they just like dump Min off the side of the wall, right? It just lands in the sand, just like, right? Do you go to him? What do you?
I kind of run over to him.
Okay. Yeah. So, he has a midi wound right now.
From that, or already had a midi wound?
No, he already had a midi wound from like them beating him up. It's going to get worse, after this session, unless it gets treated. I don't think you have any skills for that, but, that is something that's true. What do you start doing with Min? Like, do you do it? Do you just like go up to him and what, help him to
I'm
his feet?
chained,
Like,
so I probably just kind of like check on him, like, are you okay? Like nothing in particular.
Yeah, he says, I blame you for all of this, Theo.
Does he say it jokingly or like serious?
Half jokingly, right? He says, everything would have been better if you had never come to to Estel.
You're right. Can't say I don't deserve this in the long run. I'm ready to meet my maker.
And die fighting, Theo? I don't think you'll get the chance.
I've fought enough. All you do in this life echoes in eternity. That's all he says.
Yeah. I think he says, well, Theo, you've been lucky before. Let's hope eternity echoes back. And yeah, like, I think the idea is that you're supposed to like go on your, like, kneel on your knees up before Faustus, and then he's gonna like shoot you with an arrow, right? That's like and I think some cultists are like coming out to like go drag you over that position. So what do you do?
Can I do I have like a minute or so to make a faith roll?
You do not have a minute to make a faith roll. No, you have seconds.
I can't attempt to make a faith roll.
You can attempt to, but you'll be dragged away in the middle of it.
What? What? I can't pray on the move? Come on.
I'm not saying you can't pray on the move. I'm just saying I don't know if you'll get the faith roll off in the time it takes them to set you up and then him to shoot. Like, Faustus already has his bow like ready at this point. Like he's already had it handed to him, and he's like knocking an arrow right now. They know what you can do. They're not gonna let you just like pray for like 5 minutes or whatever, right? But if you describe Theo starting to pray, well, that's what we can see, right? Like,
I can describe him praying. I think he's just kind of like speaking out loud, just like as he's pushing me. He's like,
"Yep." Being jostled by the men next to you.
Like, Lord, if this be your will, let your will be done. If your servant is to live another day, save us from, or what does he say? Rescue us from this fate.
Yep. So you're starting to say that, and we have you guys put down to your knees. Faustus like knocks the arrow, and then we'll cut back to Dellon for a moment. So Dellon, you're about to be
Faustus, and I go to kill him. Okay.
Possessed by a ghost man.
Great.
I'm pretty sure there are like actual rules for like being possessed by a ghost, and that's almost entirely what Constantino is right now. So let me see if I can find those. I think they're like in the summoning rules, right? Because like I know you can like summon ghosts and probably try to possess you. Let's see. Interesting. Yeah, failed summoning. I'm assuming it's going to be like a will test, right? That makes the most sense to me. Here we go. Poltergeist. No, maybe that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for.
Is he making a roll against me though? Probably.
Maybe. I'm trying to. I feel like there must be a trait or something somewhere here that would like describe being possessed. I know there is a possessed trait. Let me see if that has any bearing on this, or if it's just because I know it describes like what it's like to be possessed, but I don't know if it gives rules for how to make someone possessed. Let's see. Merges the spirit of a demon or a dead character with the body and soul of a living character. Nope, it doesn't. Doesn't tell us anything really. Yeah, what do you think? Against your will makes sense?
Yeah, probably. But I mean, it would probably, gosh, I don't know. As I say, it'd probably be some kind of sorcery thing, but if it was like the summoning thing, but if it was...
Oh yeah, maybe it's Constantino making like a roll against
or maybe it's just like a will check against my will is a thing. I don't know.
Let me find Constantino again here. Might be him doing magic against your will as the ob.
But does he have whatever magic skill that would require? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it would basically be the physical discipline. He's trying to quite literally put his brain in your brain, right? Like,
okay,
because that's what he has. He doesn't have the intellectual discipline like Cantarius does. Like he's doing this quite physically.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm imagining Furio's like, Furio's on top of you, kind of like stuttering and shaking as he dies, right?
Yeah.
And then we see his mouth distend, and brain matter starts like seeping out, like, and cracking his jaw and like moving forward, and like literally a little brain starts to worm its way out of his mouth.
Cool.
And try to. And he's like this giant giant zombie hulking dude is like on top of you, so you can't like easily get off.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Okay, let's see.
Can I try and stab the brain?
Currently your like sword arm is like your sword is in Furio.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
What about his sword? Can I try and get his sword?
It's on the arm that you cut off, which is I guess it could be make a die of fate roll for me.
I'm like,
yeah. Roll die of fate. On a 1 it is in reach.
Oh, great. Okay. Off.
Nope. I don't know if he's gonna have a whole lot of forks to this, because he can't actually like, I'll give him astrology, but it's not like he's doing this. Goodness, doing this the normal way he would, where he's like casting magic. This is like almost a visceral like monster version of this now, right?
Right.
So I'm just gonna give him the one. I think the one fork for astrology. We'll give him anatomy too. That makes sense. All right, Zaba's 6. You know what? I don't think he'd have any Artha. I'm gonna do that again. Oof, that was even better.
Jeez.
Okay, so I think as the roll stands, it's
open-ended. I was like, how did he get so many?
Yeah. Right. As the roll stands, he would go into your brain and eat it. But obviously, you have a persona that you can spend to make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay.
Wait, what happened?
Did you miss
all zombie on him?
So I described that Furio is like the corpse of Furio is like on top of him at this point, right? And he heard the hollow voice of Constantino coming from inside his skull.
Oh no!
And we see the Furio's jaw crack and distend as a brain comes out of his mouth and tries to like go into Dellon's face.
What the freak?
Yeah.
Gross.
There we go.
Yeah, and like it's definitely going to like try to seep into your eyes and your mouth and your nose. But you can spend a persona if you'd like to redirect the narrative away from your.
You ever seen No One Will Save You? You ever seen that movie? No One Will Save You.
Mm-mm.
There's like it's like aliens come and like attack, and there's like this little like tentacly thing that like goes in your mouth and like controls people.
Gross.
Oh man, it's so gross. I can just imagine it. Like, no.
One of these days, I want us to play Burning Empires, which is a Burning Will hack about like alien brain worms that try to take over a planet.
Oh no!
And you're playing like characters who are trying to stop them.
It literally there's like it's almost like a board game a little bit in that there's like phases to the invasion, if I remember right, and like but it's still Burning Wheel style, like role playing. It's really interesting.
It's a very, very interesting one. I would love to do that sometime. It basically you can also make characters on with any amount of life paths, but like the amount of Artha you start with changes based on how many life paths you choose. So you can play a 9 life path character and have 0 Artha, or you can play like a 1 life path character and have like start with a deeds point.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I would like to play that sometime.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, I'll spend 1% on that today. I was thinking maybe we could have it involve because it has to be something also bad. So I was thinking maybe the teleporty guy could come try to kill me. And in some way that would prevent what's happening. I don't know anything about that guy, so I don't know how he would go about that. But that was my thought, because then I'd have to fight him. But he probably doesn't know I don't know. Maybe he does know what's happening with Constantino, but
okay, that's an interesting idea.
About this guy, so.
Yeah. I think. Oh, good question. I'm wondering if, because that guy's obviously fighting some people, so maybe your men are trying to get to you once they see that this is happening.
Yeah.
Let's say that even maybe like one of them, maybe it's one of the knights that one of the true sons that we've described as being like part of the Holy Knighthood now, right? He comes over and like swats the brain away for a moment, right? But then we see Podino show up and start stabbing him, right? And he's like, "Get off me!" And then he like they roll away for a bit, and so Dellon, like the brain has been like splattered away. It kind of rolls in the dirt, right? And it's like it's still there, kind of this weird, horrible brain monster.
Oh man.
And I think Podino kills the Holy Knight, just as part of the narrative consequences here.
Sure.
And then we see like a Podino, with a knife, like slowly walking towards you. And I think we hear his, sibilant lizard whispers saying, "I'll be rewarded for this. We already have your brother. I heard from his own lips that you were next."
When we're done, there won't be anyone left to pay you. Just keep that in mind.
He laughs, and then I assume you're gonna try to like get Furio off of you,
yeah.
Or what? Like, yeah, what's?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, what is that? Power roll, I guess. How do I do that?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. He's pretty big.
Yeah. Well, he's missing.
He's missing an arm. That's true. Yeah,
and
a brain. Let's see. What? How much power do you have?
5.
5. Okay. Yeah, I think it would probably be a 4. So if you want to spend some Artha, maybe hope you get lucky. And it's not even that like you won't be able to get him off of him. It's just that you won't be able to get him off in time, right?
Right.
This guy's gonna come and stab you.
Can I try and make a command roll to have other people pull him off of me? Because I feel like I'd push against him and realize that the almost impossible, not literally, but like to do this in time, and maybe I can have somebody help.
I'll allow it. I think it's going to be difficult because there's so much happening. There's so much distracting everybody. There are very few people who have actually made it over to you, and that Holy Knight was one of them. Let's have it be Ob 6 command. But you have a higher. I think you have a higher command, and you have like.
I do. I'm not sure if
you have a +1 die from commanding aura as well.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if I just increased my skill, but no, I don't think. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just a bonus. Okay. This doesn't really happen. Can I put oratory in there, I assume?
Yeah, oratory for sure.
Cool.
Outnumbered wise is fine. Like if you're,
Cool.
this whole situation is like, well, maybe not. I guess I was thinking for like the kind of direness of the situation, but maybe that doesn't make sense. Ugly truth probably makes sense though. I will die. Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be a bit of a stretch, but we'll see.
And then make sure you get that die from your trait.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot. I guess I can spend a persona on it because I have 2. Command, here you go. Oops, that was 1 down, not 1 up. Oh, close.
Very close.
No 6s, though. I guess I'll coin flip it. I don't think there's any point. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Nice.
Whoa.
2 6s. It rolled 6 twice.
I think that might be the first time I've ever gotten a 6 on Fate and then got a success again. None of this ever happened to me.
That's awesome.
Funny. Sweet.
I thought you had no 6s.
I did
on the original roll. He rolled he did a failed die and it got a 6 and then re-rolled again, got a 6 and then re-rolled again and got a 2.
So yeah, my Fate roll got 6s, but my main roll didn't.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So Dellon, I'm thinking that maybe this is, I'm trying to decide like if it matters who comes over. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just because I also done. You go ahead.
I was just say it probably doesn't matter too much. I don't know that they'll be important after that.
Right. I'm trying to think of. Yeah. Okay. Let's describe it like this then. It's not like any like good fighters. It's like the brave normal people, like maybe even like one of the priests, right? Like who are just like they're darting in to help you with this, and that's the only thing they can do, and they just run away again, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like we're gonna die. Yeah. But they manage to like somehow like your command breaks through their like stand and drool steel test, right? And they become brave. And we'll say it's the priest who kind of leads them to do this is that one priest that like helped like woke you up afterwards and was telling you about how the gods were trying to kill everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you barely, and I think it's like barely managed it. Like maybe what happens is we see Dellon like start to try to push up on Furio, and we're like, there's no way he can do this. Like, and then suddenly it just like he does it like really easily. Maybe not easily, but like suddenly it just feels like it's like lighter to you, and you manage to push it off, and we see them on the other side of the body like dragging him by his like belts or whatever, right? And like the straps of his armor, and they barely manage to get it off of you, and Podino is like frowns like as you do this and doesn't realize and then sees them and then just like rushes forward to try to stab you. What do you do? You attempt to like roll to your feet? Do you like scamper over to your sword right away? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'll probably go for the sword.
Or I guess the sword is in
right, yeah. So I guess I'll try and pull it out.
Try to pull it out. I think that will be a test. Let's make it like an Ob2 power test. Because it's you probably lodge it as a rib cage there and
right. Boop. 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 Unfortunate.
Oh no.
I had a feeling that was gonna happen.
You want to spend a fate?
Yeah, I guess as well. Or the chances this goes well twice in a row, huh? Yeah, that's a.
Oh, it's a 1 too. Bummer. Yeah. So Dellon, you try to yank it out, and it's like it is jammed in there. Something fierce.
Great.
What do you go for the other sword then?
Yeah, I go for his, I guess.
Yep. All right. So you rush over there. Let's make a speed test between the two of you. We'll see how.
He's pretty slow.
Cool. I'll make a speed test against the teleporting guy. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Dellon, you have to avenge me when I die.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I did awful. I got a 2. I got 3 1s and
Oh wow. Wait, what's
3
tax?
1s and 2
Oh, because
5s.
it's on you.
Oh, what? Oh yeah, I'm trying to get to the sword. To
Why is there a
sword.
tax?
Oh, that's because you're wearing armor. I put
Oh.
I realized that
Oh.
you having plate mail armor does actually minus your speed.
Gotcha, okay.
So I put that in the gear and stuff, and it automatically takes that away.
Okay.
All right. So up 2.
Wow.
Oh, you failed. He had a 6 speed too, and he had more dice.
Maybe you guys are just really tired.
Yeah, I
okay.
guess so.
Yeah, you get to the sword before he gets to you, and you grab it out of his bloody hand.
He's not going to spend AP.
Opadino. I don't think he has a whole lot. Yeah, maybe I will. Yeah, he'll spend 1.
Oh.
Okay, so he ties with you.
There goes the defender, right? I'm defending.
I think you're the defender. Yeah,
because I'm trying to do something. He's trying to stop me, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
Wouldn't that make him the defender?
No, because he's trying to keep me from doing it. He's
trying to. Podino is trying to keep you from doing something that, like, it wouldn't be opposed.
I'm not trying to do something to him. I'm trying to do something.
It wouldn't be opposed at all unless Podino was the one opposed.
Right.
Him. Yeah.
That hurt.
Okay, so, yeah, you just barely managed to get the sword out, and then I assume you just swing around
and try and catch him with it. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Let's have you make that roll, I guess.
You probably wouldn't even get the chance to like swing it. You just like hit him with the butt of it or something.
Yeah, just whipping around and hoping he's there when the blade goes through there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if this is. I think this is going to be just opposed between the two of you. Is he going to stab you, or are you going to stab him? Right.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll give 2 here. Whoa, he rolled really well there.
Holy cow! Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gratiated, but still.
All but 3.
Yeah. All right, your Rob is 9. I mean, but it's Dellon, so you could probably do this.
Well, yeah, it'll be tough. One. Can I do intimidation on this one?
Yeah, sure.
Cute. Nope, that's not the right one. I almost rolled sword wise. That wouldn't have gone well. my 2 black dice against his. All right. I'm not going to spend a persona because I might lose, and then I need it to live. There you go. Oh, but you know what? I have a call on. I forgot about that.
You want to spend fate first, or use the call on right away?
It's fate first. That feels like
you got 2 6s. Yeah, do you want to spend 1 or 2 fate?
Depends. Is this the last thing I'm doing today?
Oh, it might be. Yeah, that's fair.
Because it'll be a waste of fate if I'm not. If I'm doing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I would probably
else.
just do the call. I doubt you're going to do another sword test at the very least, right?
All right. Yeah, probably not. So that
as long as you get this one off.
4 that I failed.
1, 2, 3,
I had 14,
4, 5, 6. 6.
Okay. That seemed right. Oh wait, no. Yeah, it's not fate. Okay.
Yeah, just do the roll.
Greater than 3.
It's greater than 4.
3, right?
Oh yeah, greater than 3. Yeah, because it's
yeah, I did it.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. So you got 12. Yeah.
Yes, man. This guy has 10 gray knives. He's toasty. Is he a demigod?
No, he's just demon powered.
Oh, I should have figured.
I guess. I mean, he probably has one last fate point that he'll use to just try to.
What a troll!
Reroll those
you
3
get 3 6s.
He got. Yeah, exactly. All right, not quite enough. So you got 1 over him. So it's not a. It's not a superb, but it's certainly like a mark, right? No, yeah. Is it 1 ad for? No, is it 2 ad?
It's 2. Are we doing? I thought we were doing opposed, which is intent, right? One of us.
Oh
dies.
yeah. I guess you could just kill him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably fine. That makes sense to me. Either way, I think
it's like in an anime when I turn swing and his knife like stops right here, and like you're like
yeah,
and then he thumps over, and you're like, oh.
his head slides off his shoulders, right? Like you literally beheaded him.
It's like, wait, why did he stop? And then he dies.
Okay, yeah. Like, this is what we get. We get a tight shot. You know, you're swinging. You come around with the swing. We're focused on a tight shot of your face, and we see the dagger in his hand right next to your eye.
Yep.
And then we slowly zoom out, and we see that he has no head, and his head is just flown off somewhere, and then he just falls over.
Ooh, that was cool.
Yeah, Dellon, I think you do see though. You see that what's his face? That true son is like bleeding out on the ground nearby. Do you go over to him?
I don't think I have any way to help him, but yeah.
Yeah. I just think there might be cool to have a small moment with him. And I think do you say anything when you go up to him immediately?
I mean, how obviously going to die is he?
He got like a sword in the gut, basically, right?
Oh, okay.
Or a knife in the gut, but yeah.
Okay. Well, that I mean, that would be a thing that would be hard to know if he was like super dead or not. So he'll probably go over and be like, "You're wounded. I'll try and dress it," and he'll like start trying to pull the armor away.
Oh, thank you. Just got delivered bacon and eggs.
And he how did he get stabbed? What was he doing when he got stabbed? Just
he was he went over to the brain and like knocked it. Oh yeah, the brain's still there.
Oh right.
Here's the question, I guess. Would the brain keep going after you, or would it scamper away somewhere?
Maybe I should destroy the brain.
Yeah. I think you see that he's wounded, right? And then and then you look around and let's have you make a perception test.
Maybe the brain is like crawling towards him or something. I mean, I think he would make a very good host, but
I think the brain is going to try to like either get away or like hide somewhere briefly.
Okay. Perception.
It's like the face huggers from Aliens.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what I'm imagining. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have observation?
I do. It's not very good, but
yeah, that's the skill you're rolling here.
Okay.
Let's see if
does he have stealth.
I think he has inconspicuous
as a brain.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if that. I guess the one thing he could do is he could pretend like he was like someone's brain that was like on the battlefield.
He goes over to some dead guy and just like lays against his head.
I honestly think that's 100% what he does. He doesn't have like any forks for this.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, he has a couple. Funny. Okay, I see. Like anatomy and astrology, I think are forks, but that's better. Okay, so your ob is 4.
Ooh, yeah, 9 dice.
Constantino is smart, right? Like this is something he would think of.
I only get 3 dice, so I don't think I get any helping. Do
you have any forks?
I don't think so. No.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. Well, if you get lucky.
I mean, I can't get that lucky.
You got a 6.
I could spend a fate. Yeah, why not? Sure. That was a challenging roll. It doesn't improve my observation. It's close though. Okay, fate.
Spend a 1 or 2.
I guess I'll spend 2.
It's probably important.
Yeah. I don't want to have to fight Furio 4th. I've got 2 dice.
Yep, 2 dice, 2 op.
Okay. Wow.
0, a 2, and a 1.
So ridiculous.
It got away.
The brain gets away. So then I guess we do see Dellon like go over to.
Yeah. I'll go over and start trying to help him.
Yeah, and I think he says, "Don't worry about me, Dellon. Protect this city. That's what you've always done. That's what you taught us to do." And you know what? I think maybe Denzia, the priest, comes over at that point and says, "We'll take care of him. We'll make sure he gets out of the fighting."
Yeah, I think he like sort of grabs the dying knight by the shoulders. Thank you. Thank all of you. Be in a lot of trouble if it weren't for decent people in the city. I'm glad there's some of you left.
Yeah, he nods and he says, My brother is still at the river, still fighting. And I'm trying to think of the Showa, the people from Showa.
Right.
You need to end things here and make sure the city doesn't fall to them.
It won't while I'm still breathing. I promise you that.
He nods grimly. Cool.
Yeah, and then I think I looked at the priest and I'm like, get him a bandage, some water, see what you can do for him. And then I don't know, try and figure out where I'm going next.
Yeah, I think this is probably, unless we'll see how Theo's stuff goes here, but for now we kind of fade away from Dellon as he goes and just tries to do some more fighting, right, in a general sense. And I think the last thing we see is like the little brain monster scattering away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like so the whole time with Constantino, I've been imagining. So I've been showing the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series to Finn, and he's loving it. But there's a character in there, Dr. Stockman, who he survives everything. He go literally the entire show. He's still alive, and he just loses more and more body parts until he's literally just like a brain, and that's it. And he's like in a, and then he becomes like a hologram at one point, right? Like it's just like a never ending quest for this guy to continue staying alive through science, right?
Oh my gosh,
and that's what this guy that's what Constantino reminds me of. So
yeah, for real.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
All right, so Theo, you are being dragged to Faustus. He is going to shoot you in the chest and kill you. But you're going to try to get a prayer off.
Yeah, they said it wasn't going to work though.
So this is what I'm wondering. And you can help me to jam this here, David. I'm trying to I want to be fair, but like dramatic, right? Do we want to give Theo a chance to make this roll? If he actually gets the roll off, it's almost, he has a gratiated faith. Like it's likely he'll be able to just stop this from happening. I think it would be more dramatic if the shot goes off first and we see if Theo survives it and gets the prayer off anyway. But that also might just kill him, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess what's the over-under on that? I mean, I assume that his stats are pretty crazy. Is there actually any chance that he doesn't die?
Well, the thing is with I don't know why I took a bite of bacon when I'm talking. The thing with bows is that they have you roll a die of fate to see how much damage they do.
Yeah, right. But I mean, does it matter? Will he survive any of them?
Yeah, he's just gonna keep firing until I'm like dead.
Well, no, I mean, like, say he rolls bad on the die of fate. Does that matter? Will you still die? Is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, fair point.
Because if it's like he has to get a superb hit, and it like, which I mean, he probably will. It's
kind of embarrassing if he takes a shot and doesn't kill you. He's like, hold on, let me try again.
I was imagining a really cool like Boromir scene here, where like he's trying to get this prayer off. It doesn't quite happen. He gets shot and then just pushes through it and does it, right?
How about instead of rolling to see if he gets hit at all, how about you have him do a steel test just to see if he survives being shot repeatedly? Like, obviously, if we did the actual attacks, he would die. But I think it's cooler if it's like, can he like fight through being hurt? And like maybe
dude, that would be so intimidating for Faustus if I ever come back or something and I'm like not dead and he thinks I'm dead and he's like,
you got 10,000 lives.
I've shot you like so many times and it's like I can't go down.
Theo, what's your mortal wound?
What?
What's your mortal wound at? It should be in PTGSing gear. Someone that says N.
It's 0.
0. That's not right.
Did we never set it?
We should have.
When have I taken a mortal wound? I miraculously healed and I haven't taken injuries.
No. He's wondering what number your mortal wound is assigned to. So like what part on that scale gives you
B10.
B10. Okay. Yeah, B10 is where it starts.
Really? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, that's normal people. Almost everyone.
Oh, you're right.
Have a,
yeah, no,
a
I'm
B10 or a
all
B9.
set then. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know why that sounded weird.
So the damage he can do, he could do a B4 if he gets an incidental. He could do a B8 if he gets a mortal, or mark. And he could get a B12 if he does a superb.
Okay. The only problem is that he can improve accuracy with successes, and his roll will probably not even be opposed, right? So like,
almost all missile weapons aren't opposed anyway. There's like just factors for difficulty, distance and
I guess what I mean is that chances are pretty good he can just dump that into the point where the die of fate can't miss, right?
Yeah, in which case Theo could spend a persona, right? I'm just so part of me wants to play this out as per like the normal rules, just because I think it would be so cool if like we get it, we have to roll a die of fate to see if he even gets the right hit. Maybe he doesn't, and then we roll a steel test to see if and Theo's really good at steel. Like I don't want to abstract it to the point where it doesn't matter, right? I think I would like to try to follow it as long as you're okay with that, Adam. Yeah, I think we should make the bow roll and just see.
Not sure how many. I guess you're right. His persona, so
his persona, exactly right.
Die.
Yeah,
because I was like, I feel like it's pretty unlikely that he's not going to.
I just want to get free steel rolls.
And I want to give him a chance to use his steel in an actual thing that matters, right?
Right, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is just ob 2. Because he has no like obstructions or anything. It's just in its optimal distance.
Is it a long distance?
He misses. He's like
he's like up in the main thing in.
Yeah, but optimal
he probably
distance
went down onto the.
It's probably kind of a long shot. Hold on.
Optimal distance.
He's like a demon though, so
his bow is.
It like killed Alphonse for a moment. Or almost killed Alphonse. So it's and he was like really far away. So
I thought there was rules for this. Oh, here we go.
This is like a Legolas shot.
Optimal distance. The max range is 300 paces. Missile weapons.
Does it make it more difficult the farther he is, or something?
Yeah, I don't think they would have set you up far enough that it would be a less than optimal shot. So is what I'm saying. Okay, let's make the roll here. I don't know if he has a lot of forks, but whoop. That was literally a fork. Yeah, I'm not sure he has any forks here. It's just.
I mean, yeah, he's not really.
It's just him shooting.
He already has the advantage. So it's not like he can, like, oh yeah, I'm going to intimidate. It's like, no, it's just.
Wow, that was actually not
surprisingly bad.
Yeah, and he got no 6s. He will spend 1 fate to. You know what? What is it? What does he actually get? Okay.
Or maybe he wants like to not kill or not.
Yeah, no, I think you might be right. I think he might want to get a couple of shots in you before you actually.
He doesn't want to just like, one shot. He wants to like make me suffer, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that might be right. Exceed the obstacle. +1 die to the die of fate. Okay, I think he's happy with that. I don't think he's gonna do anything more than that. Okay, so he'll get a +1 to this die of fate roll. All right, so it's a 3. That I like. This is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. I'm so glad we did it this way. Okay, so you get a B8 wound, Theo. Which is pretty bad for you, but I don't think it takes you down, right? B8 is serious for you. So 3 dice. You don't have anything at 3, right? No, you don't. Okay, cool. So you have 3 wound dice, but you are not down. Yep.
Nice.
We got the exact hit I wanted on this.
Oh, nice. The regular one.
Wait, hold on. Before he shoots me, can he look up to the Faustus kind of like pulls back the bow and he kind of looks up and he's like, "Here I come, Kylia." Because that's his wife.
Yeah. That's what you say.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Nice. And Faustus, like pulls back. I'm imagining like just Lurtz from Lord of the Rings, right? It's just like super dramatic, like tight shot on like him just like pulling it back as hard as he can. And he says, Good riddance, Theo. And it's time for you to face the consequences of your actions. Right? Just pierces your chest. Yeah. Make that steel test, because you were kind of in the middle of a prayer, but if you can't like resist the hesitation from the steel, he'll get another shot before you can finish the prayer, right? So steel test.
You're super good at that.
You are so good at this. And yeah, you have an 8 steel, you have so many call-ons, multiple call-ons for the steel. It is,
and it reduces the hesitation by 3 because you're fearless.
Yes, true. You get, because this is like pain, right?
Yeah, I think pain is one of them.
Yeah, I believe so.
Can I fork an intimidation? Like, he just like looks at him.
You cannot fork an intimidation to
come on.
No,
I don't think you can fork anything in this deal.
You can't fork anything in this deal. Yeah.
Oh, I can't fork anything in this deal?
No, attributes you typically don't fork.
Okay.
But let me double check real quick if there's any.
So am I just rolling straight steel then? Or?
I believe so. I'm going to double check if there's any other modifiers here.
It's usually just against your hesitation.
You're not startled by something mundane. You're not feeling safe in a group of friends. You're being shot at. So we'll increase it by 1, I think. But I think that's it.
So I decrease my hesitation by 1 or 3?
No, yeah. So once that pops up, you'll put it down to 1. But then that last field that'll have additional obs, put a 1 in there as well. I doubt. Unbelievably terrible. Oh yeah, because you have wounds.
Oh yeah,
unbelievably terrible roll, but you still got it.
Do wounds stop steel?
Yeah, they do.
Or impact steel? Really?
Mm-hmm. That's why fight is so dangerous, because you get hit once, you get a wound, you have to make a steel test. You're going to fail the steel test, right?
That's kind of one of my misgivings about it, is that it's kind of like I always do strike first, because literally whoever hits first wins. And if you're going to get hit at the same time, you at least got to also hit them.
I was kind of dumb and decided to try to do a fancy thing first.
I appreciate that you did something interesting, because it made me not die. So
yeah.
Otherwise, we would have just hit each other. We both would have died. It would have been dumb.
Yeah.
I think what he does is he just he kind of like is looking down, and then he just like spits blood at Faustus.
Yeah. 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 And everyone, like you, it's like it literally didn't even phase you, right? So everyone's just like,
no, I think when he just mumbles, he's like, weak man.
Amazing.
10,000 more to go.
All right, Theo, you want to make that faith roll? What are you actually praying for, right? What are you trying to do here?
Teleportation.
Honestly, like I don't want to say like, oh, I just want to survive, because he's just like God, do like, because he wants the justice, right? It's not really about like, he wants to survive to some extent, but he's just like, well, if I die, something bad's probably going to happen to Asia, and I don't know. Like I thought I was significant because you gave me these powers, and it's like, well, now you're going to go back on it. I don't know. Like he's like, I need do what you're going to do, kind of thing. Save me if that's what needs to happen. And I think if it fails, it's kind of like, again, what we discussed, Caleb. Kind of what happens afterwards if I spend a persona. But it's like maybe that's supposed to happen. But I think if he fails, then that's kind of what was meant to happen. But if he succeeds, maybe we'll just change it. I want to make a roll though.
Yeah. I think you would. So are you? So then, what are you trying to do? You're trying to save yourself. You're trying to know something. You're trying, because like here the obs here, right? I mean, you literally could be praying like, should I die? Is this what you have planned, God? Right?
But then he doesn't have any time to respond to that. Right? To actually,
that's true. That's true.
I think what he's going to say is something along the lines of, if I
here real quick. You know what, Theo? I will let you get, if you would like to have prayed to find out if this is God's will first before he even shoots you. I will let you roll that in the past, right? Like that's what you were praying when you were like being led up to. That's interesting to me. For Theo, because that will determine whether or not Theo just takes the next arrow or does try to save himself, right?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's have you do an Ob 7 faith test first.
Oh, sweet. Is that a difficult?
I think so. You're welcome, buddy.
Wait. I mean, it's probably hard anyways. So
yeah,
I'm probably gonna fail most likely.
If you have some extra persona, now would be the time to use them.
Oh shoot, you're right. I do want to spend persona on this. So actually, I spent a lot of persona on this. Probably don't need. Oh wait, yeah, I spent a lot of persona in faith. I'll do. I do want to succeed, so
yeah.
I'm gonna spend
when you want to test, but you want to succeed anyway. That's when you spend Artha.
Well, it's faith because I kind of have to. So if I'm going to spend persona on a roll, I really want to do it in faith. But I still think I'm gonna see base up. Okay, sweet,
nice, amazing. Yeah, I didn't even really need those Artha. Okay, yeah. So I don't know, Theo. What do you think is more like? We obviously, Adam. We talked about a lot of really interesting possibilities. I feel like you dying would be so cool. Right? Like and doing what we talked about.
Here's what I kind of want. Like if he dies, I want there to be like I want it to be like a Harry Potter moment where he kind of dies and then he like talks to I'm not gonna tell you who I'm talking about. It's like somebody who it's like, oh wow, like I'm talking to this person and he it's not Dumbledore of course, but and maybe he comes back or something later on and he's like still alive, or he comes like I know his whole goal was to become like a patron saint, and maybe he doesn't become that at this point, but maybe this is like leading up to that, or there's something.
That's almost exactly what I was imagining.
Okay, yeah. I think he does. It's just kind of like, no, this is going to happen. He's like, oh, but
yeah.
Maybe it's kind of like it's a hopeful like, no, like you need to trust in me kind of thing, or like he almost hears a voice where it's like, just trust in me.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of death or something. And he's like,
no,
okay,
this is what you hear.
Die, I guess,
Theo, you hear, you've never been afraid of death before, Theo. Now is no different. Accept your fate. And accept your fate. And accept glory.
Yeah, and that's when he says like, "Here I come, Kalia."
Nice.
He doesn't necessarily think he's going to come back. He's just kind of like, oh, maybe I have to be a martyr and I'm going to die. Mm-hmm. And so I think, and then he says that he takes the arrow, and then
you can still make one last faith roll if you would like to do something before you die. But you do know at this point that dying is part of the plan, right?
Maybe you can make a roll to save Hia instead of your.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what could I say that.
Ob 8 test to do intercession, which plucks someone from danger.
I still got one persona that I can blow on faith, so. But now it's an Ob 8, so I'll try it. Why not?
Yeah.
I feel like I should get a persona or something after this, but hold on.
I feel like this is Deed's points worthy, my friend.
Come on, baby. What are the odds? Oh, wait, hold on.
So close. All right, you can spend one fate to reroll one failed dice.
It's already open-ended, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't get 16.
Yeah, no sixes anyway. That's why he failed.
Yeah.
Because normally with a combination of it being gray shaded and open ended, that's a wicked combination.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, he got almost all of them. He just didn't get any 6.
Yep.
I failed.
That's actually pretty good.
On the saber at some point or something. Holy smokes! Yes.
Nice. Amazing. Okay, so what do you want that to look like? Is this like a wind comes and carries her off, or is like more mystical than that? Like what are we thinking?
Maybe I'm picturing like a scene where she's kind of like standing behind them, and they're all kind of like looking at this scene, and then like her shackles or like or whatever like is restraining her just kind of fall off, and she's just like,
no, there's no one seeing this.
And like sneaks away.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I love it. Oh, here's the question though. Min is also next to you. Oh, you know what? During this time, I think he's. Well, no, I don't think he would shoot. Oh, I totally forgot about Min for a moment.
How about this? How about like, I'm looking at Asia and he prays this, and then he kind of sees what happens, and then she like is going to like try, probably in vain, try and rescue, but he's just kind of like, no, he sees what happens and he's like, don't try. And so then she, I think that would be better. Like she's like, oh, hey, now I'm free. Now I can try to save you.
Yep.
You're gonna die, but he's just like, no.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that. The thing I'm wondering now, though, is like whether or not Faustus just killed Min first, because I feel like that's the more dramatic way to do it, right? It's killed the less important guy first, and then you save the arrows for Theo.
Yeah,
maybe that's why he had time to pray for if it was the right thing or whatever.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm sad that I forgot that, because I wish we could have done this in the proper sequence and had it build the emotion build in the proper way, right? Right. But if you're fine with that, I think we will. Yeah. So like even before Theo, let's back up for a second, right? Before Theo takes the arrow, right? He's just prayed to pray to, and figured out like, yes, I need to die. And then he Faustus takes the arrow out and he points it at Min first, right? So this is this before you've gotten shot. What do you say anything to Min before he gets shot?
I think he looks at him and he's like, in the afterlife. Like, well, I'll see you in the afterlife. But he just says, in the afterlife.
Got it. Let me real quick.
Never thought I'd die side by side with an order or a member of the order. How about side by side?
How about side by side with a guy who hates your guts?
Does he actually hate me?
No. But he's too much of a tsundere to admit that.
Gross.
All right, only an incidental on what's his face, Min.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Why is he failing so bad with a 10?
I forgot. I need to roll the die of fate. He just didn't get any bonus to the die of fate. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
A B8 for Min right now is enough to take him down. He's not dead right away, but he is dying. Right.
Okay.
So because he already had a midi wound, and now he takes a serious wound, so he has 5 wound dice. So he goes unconscious and starts bleeding out. So yeah, you say that to Min, right? And Min, I don't think says anything. But I think, you know what? I'm gonna double check his. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make one last steel test for Min.
All of a sudden, the clone troopers swoop in, and who comes in. No,
around the survivors, a perimeter create.
Like, what is going on?
Otherwise has.
Begone, the cult wars have.
Oh, great. Like that happened a long time ago.
Yeah, very, very true.
That's funny.
All right, real quick, just because he has.
Wow.
Sorry. Let me do this again. This would have been a steel test beforehand.
Right. So you would have had what? 2 more dice? 3 more dice?
There you go. Still a 2, but he has a call on for this. He has a call on called Resigned to Death. So I wanted to give him a moment to make a steel test to see whether or not he actually was phased in before his death, or if he has can say something. He can reroll 3 dice there.
Is Resigned to Death a call on for steel?
It is.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's still
Min and me, like the two, like.
Well, the thing is, he unfortunately does not have as high of will as you, and I don't think he has. I want to double check, but
does will make the hesitation go down? Or
yeah. He has 1,000 yards. I need to do this one more time. He has the trait 1,000 yard stare. It reduces hesitation. Reduces hesitation by 3 against pain, violence, and intimidation, but not against surprise. That's kind of what's happening here. It's not so much.
No.
Well, he knew he was going to get shot, didn't he?
Yeah, he knew. It was not a surprise.
That's true.
I think this is pain, right?
all right, I guess I don't need to make these rolls. I like to hit the mechanics when possible, especially when a character has like a call-on trait.
He has a call-on for pain then, right? Wasn't pain?
No, but he's dead. He's dead the moment the arrow hits him, so it doesn't matter.
I
wanted to have him make a steel test before he gets the arrow to see if he was steely in the face. But I think we can just narratively say that is true about him because of his traits and stuff. Yeah. He has 1,000-yard stare and he has resigned to death. So he when you say that, Theo, he just like looks at you. And he just says,
I wish I would have known you better.
Can we say real quick that maybe you prayed, we're totally like changing the causation on all of this, but can we say maybe you prayed to free Achia before Min got shot so that no, Min can say goodbye to her too, or because otherwise he's just dead. Never knows that she got away, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the causation, right, is Theo has been praying this whole time while they're like getting him in position, and because you're not going to try to save yourself, I'll narratively allow that, right? Like you're just like doing some prayers to like figure this thing out, and then you Achia's chains fall off. She looks around, she starts to like pray as well to like save you, right? Like that's going to be her chance to do that, and then Theo, you catch her gaze. And maybe you even like nudge Min or Min like sees that you're looking there and like looks himself. And like, I think Min gives like nods to her, like, accept this. And Theo, you like shake your head, like, don't try it. Right. And Achia just slips away. And then Min, that's, I think, the point, Theo, where you say like, in the afterlife, right?
In the afterlife.
And at that point, Min says, She made it out. All along, that's what I've been trying to do. Just protect Achia. I suppose that's what we have in common in the end, isn't it, Theo? We both love that woman. And he's not saying it as if he loves her romantically, but like...
Yeah.
He's spent his entire time in the game just protecting Achia. That's the only thing he's done.
How old is Min? Is he like an older guy? Like, is he seriously?
He's almost 40.
Okay, so he's significantly older. Okay.
Yeah, but he just like nods to himself and he says,
he has a sense of peace.
Yeah. He's like, I've done what I can. And then Faustus pulls back the arrow. Shoots him and in the chest, and he just slumps right through the heart or whatever. And then Theo, did you say anything to Faustus before he shot you, or you just took the arrow?
Not before.
Yeah.
It was after he was like, he's a weak man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so you take the arrow, you say that. Yep. And then Faustus, I think, says,
I am no man. Totally flipped, like where the bad guy's actually doing the no man.
I think Faustus says, say hello to Kraos for me and have fun in the void. And then last arrow hits you in the chest. Everything goes dark.
It's like, oh,
It's the second time we made that joke.
Yeah.
So, I think Theo, if you'd like, I think you have to spend the persona to redirect the narrative away from certain death to something that is death, but not quite death, right? And we know as players that Theo is going to be in the heavenly realm for a little while. His body is dead, but his soul, his spirit, is going to do some stuff in the afterlife.
Just exploring,
Yeah, exactly. This is just an endless white plane. So, but yeah, so we cut away from that as just Theo dies, right? Theo, everything goes dark.
Jared and Connor are going to be like, wait, what do you mean Theo's dead? They come back.
Let's get back to you, Dellon, since we got a little bit more time here. What's what would be next for Dellon? Where are we going here?
Either I'm gonna try and find Alphonse or the demon guy whose name is escaping me.
Targoth.
Yeah.
Yeah, either makes sense. So I could see 4 possibilities. Like there's still like the fight happening here against the cult members. You were about to break them before. Actually, you know what? Let's say this. Let's say that the cult's retreated for now because you just killed Furio and Podino, right?
Yeah.
I think it makes sense that like you were about to make them run away before, and so this just breaks their spirit, and at the very least they retreat for now. So you have 3 options really. You can go straight after Faustus and Targoth, right? You can try to find Alphonse and Antarius, or you can go to the river and try to help the fight there. I guess 4th option, you could go see if your family's okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't have any reason to believe that they're not, right?
Yeah, and honestly, this might be a good time to make that roll.
Which one? Oh, to see if they're...
See if Averio gets there in time.
Right. Because, I don't think Dellon has any reason to think that they're not safe because he assumes that... I assume that the part of the city they're in is pretty well protected.
Yes. There was no immediate, riot there, per se.
Yeah, so I think he's probably hoping that that's the case, and he doesn't really have any way to, go find out without... Yeah.
That makes sense to me. I want to make some tests real quick here for them. So we got Orsina, who is the bald lady who's gonna try to kill your family. Okay, she got a 3. That's pretty good. And then he's gonna make a speed test in response. All right, I'll have him spend 1 fate. No. Okay, so he does not get there in time. I think. This doesn't mean he's not going to have a chance to do anything, but it doesn't mean he gets there late, right?
Okay.
So Orsina has, stolen into the compound while all the holy knights and stuff are being called away to deal with the literal war that's happening, right? The literal battle in Lucerta. She and her demon cult soldiers managed to cut down whatever guards are between her and your manor where your family stays. And I think I guess Mario would probably fight her first.
Yeah, she has sword.
She has sword. Yep. Takes the sword that has been hanging up in the hallway. That classic thing. Let's do that. Averio will show up at some point, but let's do that first. Obviously, we're abstracting all of this stuff.
Right.
But she's protecting Aquile right now. So we'll just do a sword test. Sword test for Orsina. She's got brawling. You willing to give her assassination wise? That's kind of what she's doing.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
Assassination wise, and we'll do intimidation. Wow. All right. Maria Zob is 1.
Jeez. That was lucky. It'd be cooler, I think, if Maria protects herself. But
it's just sad that Averio's 1 thing. He couldn't actually get back in time to do it.
Yeah. But I don't know. He's been the reason that Dellon has had the freedom to do stuff without worrying about her getting attacked, or his family being in danger. Yeah. So I think it's cool that she gets a moment to hold her own. Yeah,
and it's just, especially if it's her and she's the only thing between her and your son, right? That's a good moment.
Yeah, but I suppose she could get no successes, so
No, there you go. She's good. Okay. That was just pure luck on the dice rolls there. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a woman who would not get along with Maria, and is definitely this is not good.
She's here cool and cat fight scene.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. You got the cat fight where the 2 are facing off. And Averio shows up and I'm trying to think of what moment he Maybe Averio doesn't even show up at all then, because I feel like it would be kind of lame for him to show up and be like, oh, I couldn't do anything, as opposed to getting distracted by something else that's also important, right?
Sure.
That feels more narratively appealing for him.
Yeah.
So let's say that, like, yeah, she obviously like stabs Orsena through, and she just says, "Stay away from my son," right? And so your Achille is safe, at least. I'm sure they're gonna still do some weird blood sacrifice thing with Luca, but your son is safe.
Yeah.
And then I guess like Averio. I wonder. Maybe I just wave my hand at that for now and figure out something in between sessions.
Sure.
But I'll probably try to find something interesting for him to be up to. Okay, cool. Yeah. So your family's safe. Good job, everyone. What would you do next, Dellon? What's the plan?
So remind me what I know in character about gosh, my brain, about Jared's situation. Alphonse's situation.
Not a lot.
Okay.
I mean, even you didn't have a whole lot of time to like confer with Cantarius when you were actually in the demon realm. You just know that like they, I guess it's the two things you know is that they left before the speech, and they are with Sergio in their bodies because that was what was happening there. Like Sergio was like disintegrating.
Okay.
I think Cantarius did say that he repented. That's something that you know. So right. It's a likely scenario that Dellon would be able to figure out. Oh, they're probably at the Vatican, right? They're at the palace.
But then I also know that they got them, right? They said the lizard guy said that they captured Alphonse.
That is true. But he was lying. So let me real quick. I'll make a posthumous roll for him to see if you believe the lie.
Okay.
I forgot. This is Podino. He doesn't have falsehood. We'll just say you did believe the lie.
Okay.
You have a 6 whale. There's no chance for him, and he's already dead. So.
Yeah. You're saying I didn't believe the lie?
You did not believe the lie.
Okay.
So he tried to get you to believe that. Well, we got Alphonse, and you're just like, nah. Alphonse tricked you. That's what happened.
Okay.
Which is what happened.
Okay.
And it's not that we have to like get into a whole big other sequence here. I'm curious where Dellon's going to go next. So
right. I'm just trying to think of what makes the most sense from Dellon's perspective, because like I don't know, he knows exactly where anybody is. There's a lot. Of that's
what I am wondering if you go down to the river.
I don't have a belief about that, so that'd be kind of a waste.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, I guess I probably wouldn't.
We could just. Yeah, what I'm saying is like we could do that. We could have you go to the river and then stop the session here, and then you can have about next time.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that makes sense. I mean. Yeah.
Because like Dellon has been on the forefront of the like he was the one who was actually in that first war, right? Like this isn't like relevant to Dellon as a character, that like all the like the knights and stuff down there.
Right.
You could be involved there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, and he probably expects that the others will be able to resolve what's going on here. I mean, especially demons. That's Cantarius's thing. So yeah, I guess this is probably out of everybody, it makes the most sense for him to go down there. So I guess that will do.
Yeah, and I'm imagining we would do like there could be some fun interaction with the king. There could be some command roles where Dellon like leads some people to do some actions against. We can do some little bit of tactics. Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't think I have tactics. I think I just
but you know what I mean, like commanding people. Yeah. Cool. Well, up to you guys. Do we want to just end here? I feel like this is a pretty dramatic place to end for both of you. Or do we want to see a little bit from Theo in the afterlife?
Yeah, maybe we get a glimpse of what he sees. I kind of want to open the door and see something confusing, and then
yeah. Okay, let's do it. Theo, I think you like everything goes black and then everything goes white. Right? Like you open your eyes and it's just all pure white. And I think it is kind of, Yeah. I don't think there's like a door or anything you go through. I don't think like it's literally just you're in a pure white plane. Like
Like the
I'm
opposite
imagining
of the demon plane, where it's just like
yeah. It's like a misty, shadowy, a misty, foggy white plane, right? I'm imagining any of the hallways from Camino in Star Wars Episode 2,
Yeah.
like that bright white, like sterile white. Yeah, like what would be your first reaction if you're just like standing in nothingness that's pure white?
I think you'd just be like, "Hello."
God?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was gonna say that, but I was like, I don't think you would say God, or like
My lord, maybe.
Lord? Anyone?
And I think it would be interesting if we do like, okay, so you had that Faust trade at one point, and like your whole thing with your wife was like this weird kind of like bargaining with and she's like this pure saint like who's died and stuff. I'm imagining we're gonna get some like Dante's Inferno style stuff happening here, where like you are being led by your wife through like heaven to like right
Nice.
like Beatrice style. I don't know if either of you are familiar with it.
No, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Or she's like the embodiment of purity, and right, like is kind of leading you through heaven. But let's say that like you blink and suddenly she's in front of you, and she's like in a pure white dress. And yeah. And she is, standing and smiling at you. And I mean, Theo, this is like, you've had this happen before, and it's always been a demon or a ghost. What would Theo's reaction be? We can make a skill test.
If he totally believed it, he would have just fallen on his knees. But if he's like skeptical, I think he would just kind of be like, "Is it really you?"
Yeah. And I think she smiles as she says, "Sort of. It's what remains of me here." I've been called back for a little while.
What?
There are some things that you need to see, Theo. Some things that you need to do. Some things that you need to tell the others.
But it's too late. I'm dead. How can I go back?
He says, "You spent years trying to resurrect me, and you still don't believe that there's a God who knows his way out of the grave."
He doesn't say anything. He's kind of like he's about to say something. He's like,
yeah.
Okay, I guess you're right.
And she kind of just like presents a hand forward, like this way, right? Like kind of behind her. Like, here we go.
He follows it. Yeah.
Okay.
He's just kind of like bewildered, like what is going on?
And we see them. We see the two of you walk forward. And as you're walking, I think the whiteness around you slowly fades, except for like a strip that you're directly walking, like a path that you're walking on, and you see you see the similar scene that you guys have seen with the demon realm, right? You see the world below you, right, as you're like walking along this white path, this like shimmering path that's like hanging in the void above the world. And you see shifting and twisting clouds below you as if you're above the demon realm, right? This is like a layer on top of it. And but like the shadows, like it's almost like if I know David's read Mistborn, I don't know if you have.
A dark veil.
Yeah, it's like a dark veil, but it's like almost as if your mind is filtering it out somehow. In a weird way, like it's there, but like you can see through it as well.
Okay.
So you see the world, and I think we get shots of like various things that are happening in the world. I was hoping that we'd have a chance to do this, but We see like various parts of Ceran that have this demon cult that's been rising in the country, like, you know, trying to take over various towns. And we see that the work that like Theo, Kentarius and Alphonse and Antonius and Gorath and all of them, right? The people who have been like wandering around doing folk hero stuff and saving people from demons. That work is the one thing keeping Ceran together, because there are individuals in almost all of these towns who are like, we will stand up against the demon scourge and are fighting back. It's a very flimsy, like, could go either way fight right now, right? But like, you see, like, kind of with the eye of heaven, all of these like individual skirmishes happening all across the country. And then even beyond that to the world, right? You see one corner of the world where a group of like Viking-esque warriors are being led by some sort of possessed demon king. And you know, this guy in like huge metal armor holding an axe, big Viking type guy, and they are storming what looks to be like a giant gate carved into stone, like some sort of giant like magical portal-esque gate, like that kind of gate. They're storming it as like a bunch of like other Vikings are like protecting it. We see a desert region that is overrun with demon-possessed meerkats. We we see let me look at my notes here. We see you know, we see the Shoei invading Ceran, right? And attacking Ceran. Various other parts of the world, like, all doing their part to like fight against the demon horde, for better or for worse, right? And Kylia looked back at you and says, you've done more than you know. There is hope still remaining, even in the hour of darkness. Light is coming, Theo.
How can a mortal man fight against such strength, such villainy?
She says, the same way that men have always fought against such odds. Because they must. Because if they don't, everything ends.
Yeah, I don't think he says anything.
Yeah. You keep walking. And I think you get to a point, as if you're still above the planet, right? You get to a point where you see an interesting. You know how like in your like astrology visions and stuff and faith visions, you've seen like stars above the clouds, right? That are like trying to shine through and whatnot. You see those again, right? You see the starscape ahead of you, and it looks like you're walking closer to like some particularly bright lights. And you know, it doesn't make sense. Like, obviously, I don't think Theo understands astronomy, but like for us as like modern people, we would be like, how is he getting closer to this star? Like, if it's a star, it should be like huge, right? But it looks like a twinkling star that is just kind of hanging, and then there's like several of them like hanging in midair right above the planet, right? And she kind of points to them, and she says, "These are your allies, warriors of light, who are seeking to help, but are kept from this place by the darkness. But if you can bring the day of reckoning, they will aid this planet. They will break the hell that lives here." And she says, but there is something for you to do here, Theo. Something that must be done. The patron saints, they must be convinced, or they must be stopped. They have played a dangerous game with all of this, and they are about to lose. Even if they think they are winning, they will lose everything. They will lose this planet. They will lose its people, and they will become gods of dust and ash. She smiles. She says, our patron, Narani, the one who got us into all of this, Theo, the one I thought I could trust with my life. She has betrayed all of us. And you must face her. Like you have, and you must face her. I know that you have rejected her, have scorned her power. But you must risk her wrath again to save this planet.
I don't kill her first.
She smiles weakly. She says, I don't think even you could do that, Theo. But she can be convinced. She doubts. She has set so many of these things into motion. So many of these pawns have been moved on her command. And yet she still wavers. She cares somewhere in her heart. And she smiles really big and bright. And this is like a smile that you remember more than anything from her, like in her life. This like bright, just hopeful, optimistic smile. And she says, I always knew there was good in her, despite all of her flaws. They can be redeemed, Theo, just like I was redeemed, just like you were redeemed.
I think I might have mentioned this before, but I think that part of Theo's philosophy is not necessarily like it used to be. I want to kill all the gods, but at the very least, I think now that he's like following one true God, I think that he wants to replace the patron saints because I think he thinks he's like they failed the one true God, and I think they deserve like his wrath, and that they should be replaced by, Dellon and Kylea and Ishia. And it's like I mean, they probably like the idea is they probably were just humans, good humans, and now they kind of turned against it. They were like stewards of it. And so I think what he says is that he kind of like puts his hand under her cheek and he's like, "There's only one God. The rest are demons." And he kind of like when he says that, he looks off and he kind of like starts walking ahead of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like again, this isn't necessarily me as the GM saying you must convince Narani or else everything will die. Like you can kill her too, right? That is like a path forward here is certainly to kill the gods and replace them. You'll just have to figure out how to do that, right?
Well, I'm just kind of like I don't think that the one true God. Like I'm mostly
perfectly valid interpretation. Right? Like, yep, your wife has always been more optimistic than you, right? So this is her as a person wanting you to redeem Narani instead of like replacing her or like ousting her. But you are welcome to disagree with her on that. So cool. Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else that would happen here before like she gets to. You get to that, to the gods, basically. Yeah, okay. You know what? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just trying to think of how to frame this next bit with the gods because there's like a whole bunch of politics stuff happening.
Yeah.
So I think if you're okay with that, I think this might be a good place to end.
Yeah.
Because I can actually set up like whatever conversation the gods are in when you get there and like their beliefs and all that stuff. I have a general idea of a lot of that, but it'd be good to have some time to prep that specifically. But I like that moment where we get to see the two of them kind of talk and look out of the world before you actually get there. So it's the last thing we see, right? Is we see Theo and Kylia. She leads you kind of like up a staircase to what looks like to be an ivory tower kind of hanging in the void, almost like a lighthouse, right? And the door opens and you guys start to ascend the staircase. And as you get closer, you hear the voices of the gods talk. They're speaking to one another, arguing, having a council of some sort. We just get a shot of Theo Aragorning the door, right? Like as he walks in. Do you have a last line for us as you get there? As you see the assembled gods.
We meet at last.
Yeah.
Attention, demons! No,
I found them over here.
I don't think he shouts anything. I think he just said. I think he mumbles to himself. He's like, "We meet at last."
Nice. And I think we cut the episode there. Very neat. I was hoping that we would get to heaven at some point, but I did not think it was going to be because Theo died. So I'm happy with that. That's a pretty cool.
Well, I might come back.
No, you will. That'll be the plan, unless I guess it couldn't happen. But that was always my plan. This is a temporary thing, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, cool stuff. Dellon, what do you got for beliefs and stuff?
Let's see. I didn't do anything to the Inquisition.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's still definitely a loose thread that we'll have to tie up at some point here. You'll have to take care of them.
I have to find the demon that is claimed. Ibn and Luca obviously didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Ensure my family is safe from the threats it poses, including Alphonse or starting with Alphonse, and decided not to go that way.
I'll give you a fate for it because we got to see the narrative of you having set Averio on this path, like and all that stuff. That was all because of this belief, right?
Yeah.
Or at least beliefs similar to this. So I'll give you a fate for it.
And then killing Furio, which I did do.
Yeah, Persona.
Woo.
And he is dead. I will not bring him back
I figured.
for a fourth time. But Constantino is alive.
Yep.
As a brain monster. It's pretty fun too because now we have the parallel between him and Gorath, right? Gorath is just a head and he's just a brain.
Together they are still just a head.
They're a head plus a brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's see. Any traits or instincts that came up here?
I don't know that I really got in trouble or anything, really.
Yeah, you immediately won the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense. Like, Dellon just has such a high, with deadly precision, you're so deadly that, like, a scratch, you take someone down.
So good.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that trait.
I think I want to give you... I'm going to give you a fate point for commanding aura. Just like the stuff with the priests and the common folk, and then the moment you had with the Holy Knight, like all of that being like a Holy Knight commander. That was fun to see.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, cool. Well, I guess real quick, was there any humor moments in character? Was there right skill, right time, embodiment, mold breaker for Dellon?
I don't think so.
Mostly was speed, sword, and power.
Yeah, I pretty much only wrote 3 stats.
Cool.
Dellon's not really a funny guy usually.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, not typically.
This guy.
Every once in a while, he gets a good singer, but
Yeah.
all right, Theo. You worked on strengthening your faith. You can take a fate point there. You didn't advance it, did you? Right?
No, but I'm getting closer.
You got another difficult and another challenging. What are you at right now?
I only need 2 difficult now.
2 more difficults, and you're upgraded to 8. That's so good, dude.
Nice.
Okay, I gotta say, like, so many of these characters have had really good arcs in this game, but Theo especially has had a bonkers arc from just like all over the place, but in the best way, like in a way that really makes sense. It has such a good, like, cool progression from and it's all centered around how you view the gods, right? It's just such a cool arc there.
It's like I kind of had a faith, and then I lost it, and then I kind of tried to build it back, and then I lost it again, and then I was like
And then you were like a demon
down,
worshiper,
like,
and then
them,
yeah.
and then come back up, and now I'm just kind of like, I think I stayed there where I'm like, okay, no, there's one true God, and I hate them, but maybe there's like like I don't like them. I don't have to respect them, but I'll use them as like maybe
exactly.
they're stay in their position.
You've stayed. You're never going to like lose faith again, or like stop believing in the one true God. Like we've decided, like this is where Theo is landing. But your belief about the patron saints, like the way you're going to treat them, is still up in the air, and that's really been the question all along for Theo. It's like, what will he do when he finally gets his hands on the gods, right?
Yeah,
so good. You're gonna have to make some god stats. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting scene because everyone there is gonna have white shaded.
Have white shades, yeah, exactly. All right. So yeah, fate point for that. You did not have a chance to discover the location or anything.
I was gonna ask him like, hey, since I'm gonna die, can you tell me where the keys are? And he's like,
it doesn't matter anymore, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You tell me whatever you want. I'm gonna die.
Go ahead, monologue for me, Faustus. I'm going to die, and I'll never come back.
Yeah, I promise.
I will give you a fate point for that belief, too, though, because of there is one god, the rest are demons. Like, that part has come up in some interesting ways this session.
Yeah.
Are we going to give him a deeds point for the man of 10,000 lives finally dying?
I think so. We'll get there when we get there, but, like, let's look at... Yeah, okay. Persona point for I'm destined to save the world. Each of us is necessary. I will defend them at all cost. Greater man has no other than that he lays down his life.
Oh man, I gotta, dude. Okay,
for sure.
If he comes, like, if and when he comes back, I think he's gonna say like, 9,999 lives.
That was my thought when he shot you and you didn't die. Like, must not have been 10,000.
Still got a couple thousand to go.
Or like if you hadn't died, I was like, the line should be, I guess it's 10,001.
Yeah.
Like,
all of those are so good. Yeah. That's amazing. All right. So instincts. I'm curious. Does Theo still have the instinct to never give up a chance at power?
Do I have it? Do you think
do you still have that? I don't think you've worked towards it at all for lots of sessions now.
I think his faith is trying, like, I think he wants to be a patron saint, but it's more towards I want to enact the justice of the one true God. And so I think he does want the power because he wants vengeance on them, because he thinks that not only have they betrayed him, but they've betrayed the God. And he's just like, so I guess it's more around there is one God, the rest. So like his beliefs kind of.
I'm curious, but what if it's an if then statement now, right? If it's like, if wielding said power will help me enact the justice of the true God, then I take it. That's that sort of thing. Like it's more conditional now. What if it's let's see if there's a pithy way to word that. If wielding power will enact God's justice, then I will take it. Then I will take it eagerly. That's not good?
Yeah. Because I was thinking about that too earlier. I was like, well, it's like not that he just will give up power or he'll take power. It's that he wants the power to do good, but he just feels so powerless.
Yeah. Yep. Like Theo doesn't have never give up a chance at power because like if he was offered demon power, he would not give it. He would not take it. Right.
He would maybe he did at one point, but I don't think anymore.
Yeah, he had it and now it's changed. Yeah.
The instinct has changed. Yep. All right. Or always trust my friends. I'll give you a fate point for that. That with Achia, like, I do like that moment that you got to have between Min and Achia there. And it was like this idea of just like acceptance, right? Like, I don't have to try, like, I've done all I can to save Achia and now she can do the rest. Right. And like, I trust that Min is like, he can be with me to the end here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never heed danger. Definitely a fate point for that. You literally got you God told you to die and you said, sounds good, buddy. Let's see. Do we have a good humor moment with Theo? I feel like we might have.
Yeah, like a few of them were kind of funny. Like at least like intense. Where you're like, oh man, that's good.
Yeah, it was like a good zinger. I don't know if it was like a laugh out loud moment though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'll give you embodiment for that. So a persona point for embodiment for sure. let's see, you didn't have a race skill right time per se. Mold Breaker, we don't need to give Mold Breaker because it's probably a deeds point. So let's talk about that. A deeds point, you earn a deeds point for either accomplishing goals bigger than yourself or helping no matter the cost. I feel like helping no matter the cost is probably in
That's what I was
here.
thinking. Yeah, because I mean, it was like, oh, he prayed, and then it was like, you're gonna die, and he prayed for Aisha. He wasn't like, oh God, maybe we should reconsider. It was like, I'm gonna die, or I'm gonna try and save her, even if I have to die, or something like that, something along the lines of that.
He literally sacrificed his life. So like, yeah, and also, is it not part of it? I know I used to think this, but I don't know if it's the case anymore. Is it not part of it to be like, going like breaking from character or whatever, like having like your character change directions, as it were?
Let me read this. Yeah, let me read these. Let's see. You must do something that benefits more than just the character and do it for reasons other than personal gain. Such an accomplishment must come with some cost or sacrifice. It's got to hurt a little to attain this level. Exacting revenge on your enemies through a brilliant plan is great, but it's only worth a persona point. Hitching yourself to a cause that transforms the setting but doesn't directly benefit you or your friends is worth a deeds point. Also, helping another character accomplish goals that are anathema to your goals, instincts, and beliefs can earn a deeds point. I think it still is kind of like in that ground there of like, yeah, I don't know. It's possible that this. Go ahead.
I felt like I think it was the second one you said felt it wasn't like oh hey, I was victorious over my enemy. It was actually just the opposite. It was like I guess I have to die for like some greater purpose, something greater than myself, which was the will of God, and I have to accept that fate. And it obviously was at a cost to me, but I did sort of succeed at a cost of dying.
This is what I'm wondering, though. I'm wondering if you get the deeds point now or after you do the God stuff, right? Like, is this just merely...
I feel like it's separate.
Are they separate things?
I don't think he was thinking, oh, hey, now I get to go talk to the gods. It was like, I'm going to die.
Fair enough.
And now it's like, whoa, hey, I can get a deeds point for convincing the gods to like do something. I feel like
that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if this moment is just Mold Breaker, and then the deeds point is when you have to make that crazy decision to what are you going to do with the gods and how you transform the whole setting by like making that decision there.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, because I think that like, so you made a choice to sacrifice yourself because you knew that was what God wanted, but because you knew something needed to happen. But I think whatever it is that needs to happen hasn't happened yet.
Yep.
So maybe this is Mold Breaker, and then once you've done the thing that was the reason, that will, because you have to have. It sounded like it was like you've done something.
You have to
that
succeed on something first,
so
right?
It's cost you, but now once you finished it, I think that would count. I think that makes sense.
I agree. Because like this is all part of the bigger thing that's happening in heaven, and once you've reached that end, the arc of the end of that arc, that's when we see it all come to fruition. You get the deeds point, but certainly a persona point for Mold Breaker, like choosing to die is not it's going beyond the bounds of the character, and like
right. And really, I also think that sets up what happens next to be a deeds point worthy, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yep.
Okay.
Sure. I think that makes sense. Yeah.
All right, so you can take another persona, but you're leaning towards the deeds. I like this. This is a great deeds for Theo to get.
I agree.
Right? I can't think of where Theo goes past that point. This is his last deeds point, right?
Yeah, other than transcending.
Yeah, I suppose he becomes a patron saint, maybe. But I guess that's not really
but
like...
that might be part of it, right? I don't know what that's going to look like. So,
but that's also not outside of you, because that like directly benefits you, probably. And usually deed stuff is like... you pass up a chance for maybe if you were to be given the opportunity to become a patron saint and you gave it up for some beneficial reason.
Yeah, you'd
turn it down.
But I don't think that he wants to be a patron saint just because he's like, oh, I'm so special. I think he wants to like do like justice. He wants to do that. Yeah. That's why it's not just like, oh, hey, I want to be a superhero or I want to be special. It's I feel powerless and I want to do something for someone.
I can imagine it going like this. Right. Where Theo chooses to be a patron saint knowing it will lead to his death. Where like he has to take the power of godhood to stop the demons and it will destroy him. Like that could be a great moment where like he does become a god for just long enough to stop the demons, right? That could be super cool. But like just being like, yes, I need to become a god because I can save everyone isn't necessarily a deeds point. It could be depending on the other factors, but we can see when we get there for sure.
Yeah.
And Adam, we can talk off screen and see what we think about like how that scene might go and what Theo's thoughts are on like what he might attempt, so I can set up some good obstacles for you and stuff.
I still need to find a deeds point for me because I need one more to get white sword, and I don't have one in mind. So
yeah. If you want to talk about that, David, through Messenger at some point, let me know. We can
Sure.
troubleshoot that too. All right, cool stuff. That was a fun session. I'm glad we got to focus so heavily on the two of you today.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It's good, yeah.
All right, I think that's it for Crow Inquisitors. Thanks for playing, y'all. We're out.
Thank you.